Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well today. I want to talk about something we often forget to take care of, our brain. We spend so much time taking care of our appearance, our work, our phones, and our daily responsibilities, but we rarely stop and ask ourselves, am I taking care of my mind? The truth is, your brain changes depending on how you use it. If you do the same things every day, spend hours scrolling on your phone, avoid difficult tasks, and depend on technology for everything, your brain gets fewer chances to work, learn, and grow. But the good news is that you can change this. You don't need expensive equipment or complicated exercises. A few simple changes in your daily life can help you think more clearly, improve your memory, stay focused, and keep your mind active. One simple thing you can do is start using your non-dominant hand sometimes. If you normally use your right hand, try brushing your teeth with your left hand. Open a door with it, hold a spoon with it, or even try writing your name. It may feel strange and uncomfortable at first, but that's exactly the point. Your brain is used to doing familiar activities automatically. When you suddenly change the way you do something, your brain has to pay attention again. You don't need to do this all day. Just choose one small activity and do it differently. You should also try to do one difficult thing every day. Most of us naturally choose comfort. We avoid activities that make us nervous, tired, or uncomfortable. But challenges give your brain a reason to work harder. Maybe you could speak English even though you're afraid of making mistakes. You could exercise when you're feeling lazy, read a difficult page, talk to someone new, or start learning something you've been avoiding. It doesn't have to be something huge. Ask yourself every morning, what's one difficult but useful thing I can do today? Then try to do it. Another important change is spending some time away from screens. Think about how often you check your phone. You wake up and look at it. You eat while watching something. When you're waiting for someone, you immediately start scrolling. Even when you're talking to people, your phone may be beside you. Your mind barely gets a quiet moment. Try spending at least 30 minutes each day without your phone, social media, YouTube, or other screens. Walk around, write something, sit quietly, clean your room, or simply think. At first, you may feel bored. That's completely normal. We've become so used to constant entertainment that even a few minutes of silence can feel uncomfortable. But you don't need to escape boredom immediately. Sometimes your mind needs silence so that it can think. Sleep is another thing you shouldn't ignore. Your brain does important work while you sleep. It processes memories, regulates emotions, and prepares you for the next day. That's why it's not only about how many hours you sleep. The quality of your sleep also matters. Try to keep your room dark and quiet. Avoid unnecessary lights and loud sounds. If your phone keeps disturbing you with notifications, keep it farther away or use Do Not Disturb mode. If your room is too bright, you can use a mask or curtains. 7 peaceful hours of sleep can feel completely different from 7 hours of interrupted sleep. Sometimes one of the best things you can do for your mind is simply go outside and walk. Find a park, a quiet road, a garden, or anywhere with some trees and open space. Put your phone away and pay attention to what's around you. Listen to the birds. Look at the sky. Feel the wind. Notice your breathing. You don't have to use that time to study or work. Just walk and observe. Your brain is constantly surrounded by notifications, videos, messages, and noise. A quiet walk gives it some space. You should also read things that challenge your thinking. Many people only read or watch things they already agree with. It feels comfortable, but it doesn't always make us think deeply. Sometimes read a different opinion, learn about another culture, explore an unfamiliar scientific idea, or read the story of someone whose life is completely different from yours. You don't have to agree with everything you read. Instead, ask yourself, why does this person think this way? What evidence do they have? Is there something here I haven't considered before? A strong mind doesn't accept everything, but it doesn't reject everything immediately either. It thinks before deciding. Another useful habit is trying to remember something before checking your phone or Google. Today, almost every piece of information is available within seconds. If you forget someone's name, you check your contacts. If you forget a fact, you search online. If you forget an appointment, you check your calendar. Technology is useful, but before checking, give your brain a chance. If you're trying to remember someone's name, pause for a moment. Think about where you met them, what you talked about, or what they looked like. If you're studying, close the book and ask yourself, what can I remember without looking? If you still can't remember, then check. The important thing is to try first. You should also learn something you're not good at. Adults often avoid being beginners because making mistakes can feel embarrassing. But learning something unfamiliar forces your brain to pay attention. Try learning an instrument, drawing, cooking a new recipe, public speaking, dancing, or a new language. You don't need to become an expert. In fact, struggling in the beginning is part of the process. Instead of saying, I'm terrible at this, say, I'm still learning. The people around you can also help keep your mind active. Try having meaningful conversations instead of only talking about the weather, work, or everyday problems. Ask someone what they've learned about themselves recently. Ask what dream they're afraid to follow or what experience changed the way they think. When people share something meaningful, you have to listen carefully, understand their emotions, and think before you answer. Of course, you should respect people's boundaries, but deep conversations with people you trust can be valuable for both your mind and your relationships. Changing your routine occasionally can also help. Routine is useful because it makes life easier, but doing exactly the same thing every single day can put your mind on autopilot. Take a different road to work. Sit somewhere different. Try new food. Rearrange your workspace. Start your morning without your phone. Read a type of book you've never read before. You don't need to completely change your life. Even small changes can make you pay more attention to your surroundings. Whenever you learn something new, try teaching it to someone else. You may think you understand something after reading or watching it, but explaining it is different. Try telling a friend what you learned. Explain it to your brother or sister. Record yourself speaking about it. You can even explain it to yourself in front of a mirror. Teaching forces you to organize the information and find simple ways to explain it. If you can explain something clearly, there's a good chance you've understood it well. If you enjoy games, choose some that actually make you think. Games aren't necessarily bad. The important question is what kind of mental effort they require. Chess, Sudoku, word puzzles, memory games, logic puzzles, and strategy games can make you plan, remember, solve problems, and correct mistakes. You can still play simple games for entertainment, but occasionally choose something that challenges your mind instead of simply giving you quick rewards. You should also become more aware of your eating habits. Many people eat not because they're hungry, but because they're bored, stressed, or simply because food is nearby. Some people choose structured meal times or longer breaks between meals. What works for one person may not work for another. The important thing is to stop eating automatically. Ask yourself whether you're really hungry or just looking for something to do. If you want to try fasting or major changes to your eating schedule, it should be done sensibly and according to your health needs. The purpose isn't to punish yourself. It's to become more aware of your habits. There's another simple technique you can try whenever you need ideas. Instead of immediately discussing a problem with other people, sit quietly with a piece of paper. Choose one question and set a timer for 5 or 10 minutes. Maybe ask yourself, how can I improve my focus? Or what's wasting most of my time? Then write as many answers as you can without checking the internet or editing yourself. The first few ideas may come easily. Then your mind may go blank. Don't stop. Keep writing. Sometimes the most interesting ideas appear only after the obvious ones are already on the page. You don't have to judge the ideas while writing them. Create first and evaluate them later. It's also useful to practice dealing with small amounts of discomfort. This doesn't mean hurting yourself or doing anything dangerous. It simply means not allowing comfort to control every decision. Finish a useful task even when you want to stop. Get out of bed when the alarm rings instead of pressing snooze repeatedly. Exercise even when you feel a little lazy. Do the important task before the easy one. Some people use a brief cool shower as a personal challenge, but the activity itself isn't the most important part. What matters is learning that feeling uncomfortable doesn't always mean you have to escape. Finally, start memorizing something regularly. We store almost everything outside our brains now. Phone numbers are saved in our contacts, directions are on maps, information is online, and reminders tell us what to do. Because information is so easy to find, we don't always practice remembering. Choose something small every week. It could be a short poem, a meaningful quote, a few sentences, a prayer, a verse, or some lines from a song. Read it aloud, write it down, cover the page, and try to repeat it from memory. Check your mistakes and try again. After some time, you'll have many meaningful words and ideas stored inside your own mind instead of only inside your phone. You don't have to start doing all of these things tomorrow. Trying to change everything at once usually doesn't last. Choose one small habit. Practice it regularly. When it starts becoming part of your life, add another one. Your brain responds to what you repeatedly ask it to do. If you constantly scroll, avoid challenges, and depend on other things to think and remember for you, those habits become easier. But if you regularly learn, remember, question, create, communicate, and challenge yourself, those abilities get more practice too. You can't stop yourself from getting older, but you can continue being curious. You can continue learning. You can continue exploring. You can continue asking questions. And most importantly, you can continue using your mind instead of allowing it to spend your entire life on autopilot. So don't simply read these ideas and forget them. Choose one thing you can do differently today, then actually do it.